Everybody, it's your boy Charles in this world checking in. Listen, we checking out this video um, of Gene Deal. Now, if you don't know who Gene Deal is, he was Puffy's Puff Daddy was known by Diddy, former bodyguard, and he did an interview with a YouTube channel called The Art of Dialogue, where he talked about Faith Evans may have been lying about getting permission to go and do a record with Tupac. Let's go ahead and play this, and I'm gonna come back with my reaction.
Faith, she did an interview that went viral. She said that, Biggie gave her permission to go to LA and do a song with Tupac. And she also said that she had no idea that Tupac was on death row until she got to the studio. How you feel about her saying that?
Bruh, I'm gonna be devil's advocate. You don't like Faith that much, do you?
Nah, I don't got an issue with her personally. She just be lying, man.
No, but we can't make whatever she gonna say in her mind, whatever she gonna believe, or whatever she gonna think. That's her story. That's the stuff that she want to stick to. That's the stuff that she want to say. But we can't make her come to her senses and say nothing that she don't want to say. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody know that at that time when Pac did the Vibe magazine thing, that Pac wasn't digging Biggie. When he came home, the whole 9 yards, he wasn't effing with Biggie. Everybody knew that from the interview he gave from prison, which he tried to blame them. You know what I'm saying? Now, what I didn't understand was Biggie said I could go ahead and do the song with him. So at that time, when he was telling you he would do the song with him, he never said, you know that nigga on death row, right? Because she said when she got to the studio, she didn't even know he was on death row. Sure. So if that was an issue, him being on death row, and you beefing with my man, death row is beefing with my man, why wouldn't I turn around and go out the door? My husband, as she said, my husband knew. So if that was an issue with the death row thing, so why you just say, yo, Pop, or I left something downstairs and just leave and get away from that? If she want that to be her story and believe that, I can't change it, you can't change it, nobody can change it. That's Faith's story. But the public is looking at her with the Biggie eye. Like, Faith, nah, that don't sound like Big would say that.
Yeah.
You understand? Because he had a big problem with that. He had a big problem with Dude. And I know he had a problem with Dude because I was there when he grabbed Faith up over Dude. You know what I'm saying?
I had no idea you was there, man. Tell me about that.
Faith wasn't on the tour with us. She wouldn't do the tour because Puff told all them dudes that it was a promotional tour. When actually Al Heyman was giving him and Big about $60,000 each show, and he was splitting. Big was taking half that money or more, most of that money for himself, because really Al Heyman just wanted Biggie. He didn't want the rest of the Junior Mafia, and he didn't want the rest of the Bad Boy thing. But Puff made a deal that he'll bring all the Bad Boy artists for, I guess, a couple of more dollars or whatever like that. And he told them that it was a promotional tour. You know what I'm saying? Security was actually making more money than the artist.
Wow.
On that tour. So when we got to Philly, Faith was in Philly. And we was doing a show in Philly. And Big, we was right there. Big saw her. And he just grabbed her by her arm and by her throat. And then Puff told me to stop it. Yo, Gene, stop that. You know what I'm saying? And I was about to stop it. And then D-Rock came and said, yo, Gene, that's that man's wife. And I said, you right. That is his wife. You know what I'm saying? Then he pulled her in the room. And that was it.
So from your point of view, right, because when Faith do interviews, she always say that she had no idea that Tupac was on death row. So I want to get it from your point of view, since you was around Bad Boy at that time and you was doing security. Did you know that, Tupac and Biggie was beefing before Tupac actually signed a death row. Did you know it was friction between Tupac and Biggie when he was in prison?
Everybody knew that, bruh. Listen,
Right.
everybody in hip hop knew that it was a death row bad boy incident way before the tour, way before we got on that tour. You understand? The promoter was from the West Coast. You understand? Way before we got on that tour, way before we got on the Naughty by Nature tour. You know what I'm saying? All that. We knew that we had a problem, and there was a problem with Death Row Tupac now. You understand? So even the people around her knew that. But you know, that's Faith's story. She the only one didn't know it. So she's telling
That's crazy. That is
it like
crazy.
she wanted to tell it. And ain't nothing we could do about that.
So with that being said, right, you personally, do you believe her?
I believe she believes that, but I don't believe it. Is that enough? I believe that she believes that that's her story. I believe she believes her story, but I don't believe her story. I don't believe it. Because she had too many people zip around her. You understand? She had too many people that was around the bad boy camp around her not to know what was up.
Anyway, y'all, if y'all want to finish watching, I mean, that's pretty much the whole video. But if y'all want to check out a lot of Gene Deal's interviews, you can check out Art of Dialogue. He's doing a lot of videos on there. But I just want to just give my reaction to this particular video where he talked about Faith Evans not knowing about her line about Biggie giving her permission. And I remember her doing that interview. I forgot what it was on, but I was thinking to myself, okay, because you got to think. They was beefing since 1995. Tupac was in prison in 1995. Ever since Suge Knight got on stage and said, if you don't want your artist and your executive producer all in the videos dancing, come to Death Row. That set off the whole. Death Row and Bad Boy East Coast West Coast beef. That set it off when he said that, you know, all in the videos dancing. And Pac was in prison then. So it was already shown that it was fiction. Even before they had fiction before he even got out of prison. So how she didn't know, how is Biggie going to give permission to you to go to LA to work with his enemy? That don't even make no sense. And then how she didn't know, and here's another thing, how she didn't know Pac was on death row. I remember I was working at the video store when I was in high school when Pac first came home from prison. And I remember my friends coming in and saying, Tupac with death row, Tupac with death row, the album just came out, whatever. I'm like, and that was how we way in Florida, teenagers, how we know that Tupac was on death row and she in the music industry in New York around that stuff and she didn't know. That broad be lying, man. I've always thought that Faith was kind of shady, y'all, but she always came off when she first came out as just this sweet, innocent, she's a beautiful voice and she was just beautiful. But I was like, something's shady about her, you know what I'm saying? And it came out later on when she got with Stevie J. She was bringing dudes in their house to sleep with, in the house that she shared with Stevie J. If that's not disrespectful, you bringing a man to sleep, to sleep with you in your husband's in the house that you share with your husband, But yeah, I don't know. You think you know somebody, man? You don't really know them. You know what I mean? Anyway, what y'all think about this video? Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to Charles and Roseboro, leave me a comment.